Right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Squats, the humble squat. So we start keeping in more so through the autumn and winter months. Probably something a lot of people don't really know about or even use, to be fair. Probably associated more with us canal anglers as opposed to people using them on the rivers. But they're really versatile. Good feed bait, good for putting in your ground bait, especially if you're sort of on the rivers like the river source, slow moving rivers, the big deep canals, like we've been all up in Doncaster. Good for ground bait because you put them in the ground bait, they generally don't break it up, so they still allow the ground bait to do what it's supposed to do on the bottom. They generally don't crawl into silt, so actually they're quite good on lakes as well, especially silty lakes, because they'll generally lay on top. So they're really versatile for that. Because they're small, school of forties don't really feed small fish up. That's kind of it really. It's something, if you've never tried them before, definitely give them a whirl. Yes, they're dead small. On the canals, we'll think nothing of putting one of these little beauties on hooks, size 24 hooks, tiny little tiny hooks. Yeah, we use them. Yeah, use them on the canals. Double squat. We might mix them with no ground bait, just put them into balls of leam when it's really tough. We don't want any feeding. No, we basically want is a bit of hook bait. So yeah, so whether you're a seasoned match angler, a club angler, or even just out pleasure fishing, don't discard. What we'll look at is how to look after them. So basically, as you can see, tiny little things, humble squat. They're actually a little bit more difficult to look after than pinkies, maggots and other live baits like that. As you can see, I have a big tub here that's ready for cleaning off. So what we can see I've done here is, obviously these are satin bread. There's a bit of peat that they sit in. The old school way, it was a bit of foundry sand. We don't tend to get that anymore. I've not seen foundry sand around for years. But nice, and these shouldn't take too much running off. But yeah, bread, the way I like to keep them is I like cheap white loaf, soaked with a bit of milk. Just keep them on the feed, keep them happy. I'll run them through every now and again, take any off that have turned or anything like that. They should keep for quite a while actually. It's surprising how long you can keep these things for if you keep them right. They don't like getting too hot, and they certainly don't like getting too cold. So the temperature of a domestic fridge ain't too bad. So what I'll do in the shop is obviously we have a few trays of these. They'll go in the fridges generally overnight, and then they'll come out during the day. They'll start warming up, start moving around like Billy O, and get them back on the feed. And then we'll put them back in the fridge, maybe later on in the day, depending on how warm the shop is really. But certainly go overnight back in the fridge just to cool them right down again, and just slow them down. So obviously you can do that at home. As for sort of cleaning them off, certainly if we send them out on the carriers to you, we'll be putting them in a bit of peat like this, fine peat, just basically soil. So it's not, it keeps them, so there'll be some of that in the bags with them just to keep them. Obviously most riddles, the smallest riddles generally you see are sort of like these that we keep, which we run the pinky riddle, basically 3mm. Obviously a bit too big. You can, yes, if these bits of bread and stuff, I'll chuck them for a maybe chuck them for a pinky riddle to start with, just to get the bigger chunks off. Then what I like to do, which takes a bit of time, certainly this is obviously more home scale as opposed to in the shop. We've got a massive one of these in the shop. Don't use the other halves, otherwise you'll be in big trouble. If down the range or something, go and get yourself a flour sieve. Ideal for doing, most people want a pint of squat. Chuck a pint of squat in there, stick it in, just hang it over a tub or whatever, and just leave them running off. And then you can take any rubbish out of them. Chuck a new bit of bread in, chuck them in the fridge, job done. It's kind of it really. It's just take a little bit. Obviously with mates you don't need to do that. Yes, you need to clean them off and keep them cool, etc, etc. But they do take a little bit more looking after. You might be questioning obviously why these are just whites. Yes, we do reds, but nowhere near as much as we do whites. Problem is, don't seem to take very well to the red dye. It seems to shorten the lifespan on them. Don't know why, it must be just what to do. But there's something to keep to yourselves, so don't tell anybody. Fijuca red sensate powder. Keep that under your wraps, alright? So that colours them just nice. I'm just playing around a bit more with it, but I think I've got it about sussed. And I ain't going to tell you exactly how I've got it sussed, because I need to keep that to myself if I'm going to win some competitions with it. So Fijuca red powder, have a play around with that. Alright, so I hope you gives you a bit of an insight into squats. Give them a go. Obviously you can buy them from the shop or send them all out over the country, because I know most places are a bit hard to get hold of. So obviously you can order them from us. And yeah, if you want to ask any more, stick some comments down the bottom. I'll try and answer them best I can. Probably see you on the bank. Alright, take care guys, bye bye.